The Emir, this type of Jinn, dwells in homes with humans. They live in the corners of rooms, ceilings, or even storage areas. They are often peaceful, and they do not want to cause trouble with the household. That is why they are called dwellers of houses. The Prophet, peace be upon him, warned against killing snakes that suddenly appear in homes, because they might be those dwellers of the house who have taken the form of snakes. Mutual respect usually exists between us and them, and as long as humans remember all in their homes, the dwellers keep to themselves, without causing any terror or annoyance to the residents. The Shaytan, Satan, once a Jinn, begins to rebel and act maliciously, and his primary goal becomes harm and evil. Here he is labeled with the name Shaytan. The Shaytan are the group that dedicated their lives to human enmity. Their daily job is whispering and making wrong deeds, appealing to people to cause them to fall into trouble and sins. I mean, you find a Shaytan waiting for you at 6 a.m. to start work. But despite all this, they have no direct physical power to make you commit a sin. However, their power lies in persuasion, playing on psychological triggers and scaring humans. Every Shaytan is a Jinn by origin, but not every Jinn is a Shaytan, because Shaytan is a trait linked to pure evil. The desire to spread corruption and following Iblis's path. The Murid, when we talk about the Murid, we have entered a higher level of power, size, and rebellion. The Murid is the Shaytan who reached a stage of defiance and arrogance. He has gained influence, immense physical strength, and great impact in his world. The Marid is the one capable of doing things that thousands of ordinary Jinn cannot, like building massive palaces, or moving very heavy objects in the blink of an eye. They are often very rebellious and difficult to control. Their strength is always linked to arrogance, and therefore that is why their name is associated with rebellion in the Arabic language, and they became a symbol of brute force. The Ifrit, this type, is the strongest, smartest, and most dangerous of all in the Jinn world. The Ifrit combines immense physical strength with supernatural cunning and craftiness. In the Holy Quran, Ifrit is mentioned in the story of the Prophet Sulaiman, when an Ifrit from the Jinn offered to bring him the throne of the Queen of Sheba before he rose from his seat. And this shows you the speed and legendary ability that the Ifrits possess. They have the ability to manipulate matter and transform objects, and they often hold leadership and sovereign positions in the Jinn world because of their awe and power that sets them apart from the rest of the Jinn. The Ghoul, this type of Jinn, is famous in folklore, but it has roots in ancient designations, is the Jinn that inhabits deserts and abandoned areas far from civilization. The Ghoul has a strange ability to shapeshift and change its appearance into various repulsive forms, to lure travelers, make them lose their way, and lead them to destruction. Arabs in the past used to fear the Ghouls, because they appear at night and change the features of the land in the traveler's eyes. Until he gets lost, the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us that if the Ghouls go a lot, meaning if they shapeshift and try to scare us, we should call out the Adhan, because the remembrance of Allah repels them and breaks their magic and illusions. The Solat is a type of Jinn. It is said that they inhabit forests and places with water or dense, dark trees. They are similar to ghouls in their ability to shapeshift. However, they often appear in the form of a woman to lure the victim to remote, desolate places, then they attack and harm them. They are considered one of the most malicious types of Jinn, and the most cunning in trapping humans and manipulating their minds. Silas stories are common in villages and remote areas near the wilderness. They are considered creatures that love solitude and distance from large gatherings of Jinn, and they prefer to carry out their evil acts individually. And by surprise, the Hatif, this type is a bit strange as it does not appear in physical form, nor can humans see it. It is a Jinn whose voice you hear but you can never see. It might call your name in an empty place or give you advice, or even warn you about something. Sometimes its voice is scary and terrifying, to confuse the person and put fear in their heart. In the prophetic biography and Islamic history, there are many stories about Hatif Jinn, who heralded the arrival of the Prophet or warned of certain events before they occurred. The Hatif's only medium is sound, and its ability to psychologically influence the listener is very great despite its lack of form. The Ray is the type that specializes in watching humans and relaying their news to other Jinn or to sorcerers and charlatans. This type has a high ability to hide and moves quickly between distant places in a very short time. To convey information, the Ray does not like to enter into a direct confrontation with humans. It is just an eye or a spy, and its work depends entirely on gathering accurate information. In the world of magic, sorcerers rely heavily on this type to know people's secrets and the locations of lost things. And of course, it is an infidel Jinn that works under the command of great demons. In exchange for certain services they provide, the flying Jinn, this type of Jinn, is distinguished by its high ability to move through the air at the speed of lightning. And not only that, it is one of the types that is very difficult to deal with or control because its nature is aerial and it does not settle in one place for a long time. People always describe it as light, very light, and it can cover imaginary distances in mere seconds. And it is often associated with high places, peaks and winds. Its main characteristic is lightness, meaning it could be present and its effect is quick and sudden. And it is very difficult to track its trail because it disappears into space in a way the human mind cannot imagine, and this nature of it makes it escape any direct confrontation. With legendary speed, the Qareen is the companion who never leaves you. from the moment of your birth until you depart this life. And it is present with every one of us without exception. The Qareen is not a strange jinn that passes by you by accident. No, it is part of your journey and test in this world. Its primary function is whispering and glamorizing thoughts that might harm you or lead you away from the right path. It knows your weaknesses, what makes you sad and what makes you happy, because it lives every detail of your day with you and hears your internal thoughts. The strange thing about the Qareen is that it does not die. When the human dies, its role with you ends, but it remains as part of the unseen world, and its influence is always from within, meaning it tries to change your convictions quietly and without you feeling that an external party is speaking to you. The diver Jinn are the dwellers of the depths in the oceans. This type of Jinn has a long history, even from the days of Prophet Solomon, when you would command them to descend into the deep seas to retrieve treasures and pearls. Their natural constitution is suited for high pressure and the darkness at the bottom of the sea. They possess an incredible physical ability to survive underwater and deal with the horrors of the oceans. The diver is often one of the strongest types of Jinn, the most patient and enduring, and is not the type that interacts with humans in their daily lives. In cities or homes, he prefers isolation and deep, desolate places in the middle of the water. Stories from fishermen and sailors always offer glimpses into the power of this type, which inhabits a world that does not resemble our own. Tabby is a type of Jinn, and it is often female. Her job is to remain attached to a person and follow them like their shadow, but with the goal of harming them or disrupting their life. The Tabby is not content with just being around you. She tries to interfere in the details of your life in a way that ruins things for you, whether in health, livelihood, or even mental peace. In the past, people associated the Tabia with sudden lethargy or problems, with no clear medical, believing that she follows a person and waits for moments of weakness or distraction to start asserting her control. It is not just a Jinn passing by. It is an annoying and persistent presence, and its impact is cumulative to the point that a person feels distress and turmoil in their life, without knowing that a Tabby is the one causing all this chaos. Why?